We're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of this week's MMA Huddle. It's a little bit different. This is the Whittaker until breakdown predictions. I'll talk about bets a little bit myself. Will might be joining me in the chat. I don't know, but it's a little bit different. Because Will this week, I will let you all know, we were scheduling to do this on the Monday evening. Will messaged me on the Monday evening to say he wasn't feeling too hot. He'll see how he is, and then later on he couldn't do the podcast because he wasn't well. He's basically poorly. So then I messaged him and said it's cool because hey, we all get poorly every now and then. Hey Liam, how's it going, bro? Will's not going to be live or podcasting. It's not ideal, I know, but Will is not well at all, really. Through the whole week, he has not been right, so he's not been able to do the podcast. So we left it till the last minute on Wednesday evening to see if he was going to be able to do it. It's now Thursday evening. I'm finally free. I've got some time, so I thought I could video record it and edit it, or I could just go live like I am now. And if you all going to stick around, join in the conversation. Let me know your picks, and I'll go through the fight card, give my picks. I have messaged Will to let him know I'm going live, so if he jumps in, he might jump in the comment section as well, guys. So hopefully he'll feel better soon. If it's, fingers crossed, not COVID, he's just run down, I don't know, or he had a bad can of iron brew, or he ate too much haggis. I don't know what to do up over the wall in Scotland. But Will, I love you, brother, and I hope you get better soon. I'm sure we'll be back on Monday for. Oh, it's not Home Aldana now. It's moved to Shabazian and Brunson is the new main card for that event, which in itself, that fight is interesting, is intriguing. Tonight's podcast is powered by Monster. Feel free to sponsor us if you like. So yeah, I'm going to jump into this. We'll start on the card breakdown. Again, feel free to join in, folks, if you're tuning in. And hit that subscribe button if you're new. So, going to kick off the bantamweight division. We have Nathaniel Wood against John Castanada. Now, or Sexy Mexi as his ring name is. So I think we'll stick with Sexy Mexi. Got to love a bit of that. Look, this matchup's going to be interesting because Nathaniel Wood is, in my opinion, a great little talent. I know he come off the loss against John Dodson. To be honest, I thought he was holding his own really well in that fight against John Dodson. He was getting some good timings, getting some good shots off. The pair of them were going back and forth. If you noticed in the corner with Brad Pickett, he was saying go at John Dodson to try and cement that round, so it looked like it was 1-1. And he kind of was a bit too overly aggressive and got himself caught. He got rocked. I don't know about early stoppage. I would potentially think it was an early stoppage because Nathaniel, in my opinion, was getting up. I know he was a bit queer street, but you can still fight even if you are. John, Sexy Mexi, as John is known as, he is a bit of a wild one. I've watched some of his fights on Combate Americas. He isn't the cleanest striker, but obviously this is a change of opponent for Nathaniel. It wasn't who was originally scheduled to face. So this is always going to happen in a fight game when you get new guys stepping in. What I did see in there, I did like he's got decent enough kind of power in his pop in his hands. I think this will play well to Nathaniel Wood, this fight, because I think John will be more engaged to stay on the feet and strike because Nathaniel's going to be hard to take down originally, so he'll probably engage in the striking output where this is where I think Nathaniel can start to use his footwork a lot more and really start to use his ring craft. He's got good angles. He circles off well, Nathaniel, when he really switches it on, and I think in this kind of fight, it kind of suits Nathaniel Wood, this matchup. I think it'll be a tough one for Sexy Mexi to get Nathaniel down to the ground. And even if he does, if folks who haven't watched Nathaniel Wood on Cage Warriors, he's got slick grappling himself. He's got good submissions. He's good at getting up because he's got that experience and that wealth of knowledge from Brad Pickett, who's obviously trained at ATT for an extended period of time with some top quality wrestlers. He's moved that into what is now, he was Team Titan. He's now branched off, let's say, and he's formed like a UK American top team. I don't know. I think it's like Top Team UK. I think it's called off the top of my head. So that is, something that Brad's kind of invested his time into, and Nathaniel's there, and they've got some great talent around him as well. So he's had some great guys in the camp helping him out. So I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood in this one. I think he should be able to get a decision win. I don't know how short of a notice for us for John for getting conditioning and getting fitness right, but I'm going to go with Nathaniel Wood here. So I'm going to pick a decision win Nathaniel. Next up I have is in the welterweight division. This is the schedule I'm going off, by the way, that I have at the moment. The fight card, I believe this is what the fight card should be. Razman Amiv against Nicholas Soloz. Now, I'll probably absolutely murder that name, but that's what you get for having a name like that. This one's an interesting one because Amiv, when he came into the UFC, I was a little bit excited about because I thought he's got a bit of potential about him. He's got some really good assets and skill sets that he showed on the regional scene. I don't feel like he's really brought that into the UFC. I think his striking's not been overly impressive. His grappling aspect is something that is more kind of a stronghold for him. But Nicholas has fought in the UK before on BAMMA. Now, I don't know how many of you folks know who that is, or if you've watched BAMMA in the past. It's kind of a defunct UK promotion. It kind of went a bit sideways, but he had a fight against Terry Brazier, who's now in Bellator, and that was a tough fight. And the guy, he was winning. He got a wicked little heel hook on Terry in the second round and really popped his knee, and Terry was done. But Terry showed a lot of tenacity, stayed up, switched stances, and got the takedown in. So that was a bit of a worry. There's a bit of a red flag. I thought you did well in the fight performance-wise, but if you're not able to finish a guy off who's blown his knee out in the third round, then there should be question marks about you. Now, don't get me wrong, albeit that was a few years ago, and since then, I think I was watching the Omar Santana fight, which was a decision win. He looked pretty comfortable on his feet. I think he's got decent hands. He's got good speed. Conditioning-wise, I think you've got no problems with Nicholas. I think he'll do absolutely fine in the conditioning department. I think Amiv is a kind of question mark himself. Like I said before, I was excited about him coming in, but I just don't feel like he's lit himself up in the kind of way that we expect him to. I think this is a fight there. Nicholas I believe, actually get a win here if he can keep the feet standing. Just keep on with his hands. I think he could pick Amiv off because I thought Rocky Martin absolutely pulled Amiv apart with the striking, and it's there. The leg kicks as well. They're all day long. I think if you can really hone into that, you've got yourself a nice solid win. Amiv got the win against Sam Alvey, which albeit is a solid win against someone like Alvey, and then he beat Stefan Zekelzulik or something like that. Again, if you've got a name that isn't Smith or something, I'm going to murder it. I've got awful pronunciation, folks, so do accept that. But as a whole, I just think I'm going to go with Nicholas here. I think he can use his hands and be a bit quicker, a little bit sharper, and a bit faster to the punch than Amiv will be in this fight. So that's where my thoughts are going to. Again, give us your thoughts in the comments section on who you're picking, who you're thinking about for this fight card. We're going to go next up to Jake Collier against Piana Kinzad. Now, obviously, if me and Will had done this podcast, I would have put a little eye up in the corner with the interview I did with Pani, but I'm not, so I'm just going to say, if you go on to the interviews, I've got like a little subsection on the front page of the YouTube channel, which has got UFC interviews. If you just look along there, the interview with Pani is there. If you're interested in your bets, you want to know a bit about Pani, Liam, you've got Pani in this one. Feel free to check out the interview I did with her because it's just interesting some of the stuff she was saying. So Betch now, don't forget, Betch is no spring chicken. And I think this is a perfect matchup for Pani to get a great name like someone like Jake Collier, because Betch is a former title challenge holder. Albeit she beat kind of bums to get the title fight back then. But thank you very much, Liam. Thanks very much for already watching it, buddy. But Betch is now 37 years old, and in MMA terms, I know we've not seen it with women yet, how age can play a factor in things. Now, obviously, we'll see how it plays out with her in this fight, but I just think she got the win against this Sijara Eubanks, who Sijara Eubanks isn't really a 135er. I'm questioning about the standard that Sijara Eubanks brings to the UFC, in my opinion. I wasn't high on her on Tough. I'm still not sold on it at all. But it was a war, that fight, Sijara was getting the better of her at the start of the fight. And then, the Aldana fight, the Holly Holm fight. If you haven't seen that knockout by Holly Holm over Jake Collier, it was treats, absolutely treats. Betch got gobby. She got cocksure of herself and just got absolutely memed. Like, that was a little comical thing, and that's what you get. She does like to. She's got a bit of confidence about her when she's in the cage, which is fine to have. But like, she's not had any solid wins. Like, Jessica Iwin was not bad again. Jessica I's a 125 and not a 135. But for me, Panny's got. She's got good hands when she's on the feet. You know, she's shown in the last fight as well. She's evolving a little bit more. The win over Jessica I as well. Not Jessica I, sorry, Jessica Rose Clark. That was a good win. I think that Panny in this one, she's a lot more confidence now. She's got the monkey off her back of getting a UFC win and getting her feet in the ground. And I think for Betch as well, for the UFC, I think they know Betch is probably going to go for another title shot again. Give her these girls that they could maybe use Betch as a gatekeeper. And I think Panny should get the win here. I'm going Panny for decision. I think she should be able to grind her against the cage and use her hands to really start lighting her up. So I'm going to go with Panny. Don't get me wrong, I do love the dance, the Betch dance, but we might have to pass on it this time. So next up, we're going up to the heavyweight division. And now, if I don't know if any of you watch social media but Tanner Boser has lost his shorts. Apparently, the cleaning crew at the hotel cleaned his own shorts and haven't returned them back. So I don't know what's going on there. So Tanner Boser against Rafael Pessoa. All right. Now, I believe you pronounce the P, but it's Brazilian, so they might not. It might be Pessoa. But I'm going to go with Rafael Pessoa. Right, Tanner caught me off guard in his last fight and actually stopped someone. So that caught me right out. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I did not have Tanner Boser going in there and getting a knockout. I still even kind of don't right now. I kind of got my head around it. I thought, how did he do that? But Felipe Lins has been an absolute flop coming into the UFC. That's just, again, my opinion. I think Felipe Lins did the PFL stuff, and then he came here and he's done absolutely nothing. But Tanner went and got the win. Let me just have a quick rehydration. Delicious. This fight, I think, suits Tanner more. Rafael Pessoa is big man, slow with the punches, but throws heavy and hard. He's got one solid, good round in him, Rafael Pessoa. But once he gets out that first round, you really see a decline in his speed. And I think this is perfect. I think this is the kind of fight where you see Tanner get like a decision win because it's ideal for him because Tanner can do 3 rounds of just, I say pitter-patter, but he can do 3 rounds of evading while just getting a couple of shots in, getting a couple of strikes, moving out. Now, don't get me wrong, Tanner, I don't want him to get overly confident. I know we got the knockout last time, but I hope he doesn't try to find the punch. I hope he doesn't try to find the knockout because that will really put him at risk. Because the thing with Rafael is he can crack. Because he does crack heavy and cracks hard, it's a hard one to do. Now, he was fighting Jeff Hughes, who, in my opinion, when he got that win, Jeff Hughes is a bit of a slow version. He's a far slower version of like a Tanner Boser. I think Tanner's got a bit more athleticism about him as a heavyweight. The Cyril Garney fight, you can kind of write that one off. But as a whole, if you look at Rafael as well in LFA, he's not overly skilled. He's just big man. He's got big power. I'm going Tanner here. I think Tanner can evade the punches, land enough strikes. If I would like to see the coaching side of Tanner aim for some body strikes as well, mix up the strikes, really hit that body, work that well, and then you'll see a huge payoff in the second, third round. So I think you'll see Rafael really drop off, maybe even get the takedowns if you're Tanner. Come to the later rounds, secure the points because Tanner gets on top. Rafael's going to be tired. He won't get up as quickly as he would do maybe in the first round if he was dry. So I'm going Tanner Boser. So feel free to give us your picks below, folks, and let us know who you're picking. Like I say, if Will gets a chance to jump online and give his picks, he'll do that absolutely. And I love this matchup. Love it. Next up, we have the reason why I love it is because I actually love both fighters. So we've got Mosov Evulav against Mike Grundy. Now, again, I interviewed Mike Grundy. Imagine there's an imaginary eye there, which you'd click. You go to the little subsection, he'll hit UFC interviews. I interviewed Mike and had a chat with him. He was on like a wild trek with his kids. So it was all a bit jittery. Put a bet plus 200 Grundy. I saw Grundy was super plus 200s and all sorts online, Blim. Honestly, I couldn't believe the odds when I saw those. I thought I was insane. I think this fight's crazy difficult for Evulav because if you watch the Barzola fight, Evloev was not having his way in that fight. And Evloev, he was having difficulty with the takedowns. You've got to remember that Mike Grundy, being a Commonwealth Games wrestler, he's got some superb, and I've grappled with Mike Grundy. I've had the pleasure of training with Mike Grundy, and I've never felt a human being feel like he felt like a brick. It was insane. Like, he is so good with the grappling aspects. The way he can change as well, the chain wrestling that he's got, he's superb. And he was fantastic when I got to grapple with him, to kind of get my head around the kind of level at which he's at. Of course, I let him get the takedowns on me. Got to give him a confidence boost, got to make him feel good about himself. But, man, Mike's got some wicked submission skills as well. But I think Evloev's going to have a rough time getting the fight to the ground. One thing Mike's been doing, he obviously trains with Darren Till. The thing about Darren Till is he is a very good striker. The pair of them work well together because they just help each other in both facets. Mike Grundy's striking is coming along leaps and bounds. It is growing really quick because he's starting to relax a bit more of the punching and put more pop in his punches, because he's believing and realizing that he's got to take down defense so he can expose himself a bit more to open up with the strikes. So he can maybe do a 3-punch combination, even if the opponent is to go for the takedown. Man, I think Evloev's a very good fighter. Absolutely. I think he's got a lot of explosive power. He will definitely probably go for a takedown on Mike Grundy. And I think Mike's going to be happy to try and keep it standing, if I'm honest. Because I think Mike will think, I could probably beat you on the feet. They got the hands. I could probably got a good power. And if he needs to go to the wrestling, he will opt to it. But you've got to remember, there's Greco-Roman wrestling, which is obviously like the upper body. Then you've got, your kind of folk wrestling. There's different styles of wrestling. I think this favors Mike Grundy in this one. I'm Mike Grundy all the way, Liam. Good bet. I think Mike can absolutely put the hands on Evloev to make Evloev rush for the takedowns, miss the takedowns like he did with Barzola. And then Mike, if he can, he might even get a choke on him, because Mike's got a lethal grip. Me and Paul Craig were talking about this, how we both trained with him separately on different occasions, and he got the same choke on us, and how crazy tight it was. But that was when was that? That was when we were chatting up in Glasgow after UFC Glasgow. So yeah, it's nuts. But let's go to the next fight. Another one from Team Gaboon. Finally making his UFC debut. He was meant to make a debut in UFC London. I didn't get hold of Tom in time. It was my own fault. This laptop has been an absolute fanny fart and doing my bouncing by sometimes working, sometimes not. It's been a pain in the ass. So I couldn't rely on it to book interviews for the computer crash. So had a bit of a tough time. So sadly didn't get Tom on here, nor did I get Nathaniel or Nicholas Dalby. Actually, I didn't get a few of the guys that are on this card. I apologize for that in advance. I got very surprised when he was on that much as an underdog. Yeah, have to take advantage. A line like plus 200. Mike Grundy fights for your money. Look at Mike Grundy as a record, as a performance. He does not let you down. He will not let anyone down in any way. He will be on form. And he's looking incredible, honestly, especially talking to him off air and stuff. It's an air of confidence. You can hear him, guys, and you can believe in them. And he's one of them. So, yeah, like I say, his teammate at same gym, Tom Aspinall against Jake Collier is coming up next. Jake Collier he's back after suspension. He got popped. I don't know if it was a performance enhancing, as in like an anabolic steroid. I think it was something to do with like a diuretic to help the weight cut off the top of my head. I can't quite remember, but obviously he was going down. Jake was going down at middleweight. Obviously he was jumping between light heavyweight and middleweight, and he's taking this one at heavyweight. So I'm not sure what Jake's weighing in at, and I'm not sure if Jake's going to stay at this weight class. He might try to go back down to 205 after this. It's maybe just a case the UFC went, well, you're a naughty boy. This is what you're going to get. If you've not seen Tom perform outside of the UFC, you can absolutely go and watch him on Cage Warriors. He is a ridiculous talent. He's actually as well trained and boxed with Tyson Fury. He's got a boxing background in him. He's got superb heavyweight hands. He is so quick with his 1-2 and his footwork. It's honestly, for a heavyweight, I thoroughly enjoy watching it. It's such a beautiful skill set to watch and behold. So Jake is in for a rough night, because if you watch Jake, he's got pretty much one or two combinations, and he kind of goes to the well repeatedly with them, and it kind of gets a bit tiresome, because if his opponents, some of those opponents, smart enough to see it and they can counter it, he's got a handful of combinations, and that is it. And he kind of just keeps going back to them. I think he's going to have a rough night against Tom. Tom is a big heavyweight, quick, hits like a freight train. He's got such power in his hands. Wrestling back, he's got the wrestling in there. He has got submissions, because obviously he's training with he's got like Mike Grundy teaching him all sorts. He's training, Tom and Darren train together and spar together. The pair of them are superb. Watching them train and watching the kind of level and skill set these guys have got. I think Jake's in for a rough night. And here is the sexiest man in Scotland, ladies and gentlemen, Will Martin in the house. Wagwan, me brethren. Sorry, missing out yet. It is. But the thing is, next week, folks, we'll see like a skinny Will Martin, he's going to come in all slimline after all the weight he's lost, after coughing it all up. But look, Will, bro, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're going to get well. And I'm just talking about the Tom Aspinall fight, bro, and Jake Collier. That's where I've got to. I think Jake's going to get probably sparked out in this one by Tom Aspinall. I just think Tom's hits too quick. His hands are so smart, and footwork. Honestly, watch the footwork he's got. He's got that kind of... He's evolved it for MMA, but it's from a boxing way where he will close the distance with his footwork to come out of range and in and land some great shots. Look, he's doing superb stuff, Tom Aspinall, on the regional. They basically wanted him in the UFC earlier. He was smart. He took his time. And there was no one left in the regional scenes that would actually take the fight. So he got what he needed here. So Tom Aspinall for the win. There you go, Will. We're agreeing so far, but trust me, Will, there'll be a couple of fights I reckon we might not. I think, Liam, we might go a bit wayward on each picks, but not an easy one to pick here. Nicholas Dalby against the returning UFC former vet, Jesse Ronson. Jesse fought in the UFC a little while back, and you know what? He performed really well. And to me, it's weird as well. When I watch his fights, it's strange because a lot of fighters try to go to the ground, Jesse, but he's got a really good takedown defense. And if wrestlers try to go at him and try to get him down, he's hard to get down, Jesse Ronson. He's really good at getting his base, superb at getting the underhooks back and bringing the fight up to the clinch game. I watched a handful of different fights. Obviously, I watched him when he fought Kevin Lee, when UFC had they had no Reebok deal back then. That's how long ago it was. It was superb little, your own kind of design gear and kit, which I loved. His takedown defense was, even then with someone like Kevin Lee, was superb. And then you watch him later on, it's just as sharp as ever. The thing with Nicholas Dalby is he ain't going to want to take it to the ground. He's really not. Nicholas Dalby is not a guy who wants to get fights to the ground that often. He kind of takes it to the ground if the opportunity presents itself in the clinch game or something. But generally, Dalby's a stand-up striker, and he is going to absolutely 100% want to stand up here and bang with Jesse. And it's perfect kind of fight for him because Dalby's got the long kind of wide stance, kind of like karate taekwondo-esque, where he's in and out and he's flicking the leg kicks, and he's got a beautiful kind of question mark head kick where it will look low but switch up to high. He's got beautiful kind of movements like that. And if you watched him on his return back to MMA, so to speak, his return road back in Cage Warriors, as he started to get things going again, his hands, he started to get the finish with the hands, and that's not because of the guys he's fighting in Cage Warriors of a lesser quality. It was all technique. It was pure experience, knowledge, and confidence getting out. And when he got cut from the UFC, he wasn't cut because he was awful. He just had these really tight decisions that really was unfair to him. Man, I'm going Nicholas Dalby here. I just think Jesse's skill set is going to actually hinder him here, because I think for someone like Nicholas Dalby, you need to be fast and you need to be kind of also pressuring Dalby. You cannot give Dalby space. Worst thing to do, Dalby, is let him roam. And I think Jesse's footwork will let him down in the fight. In that essence, I don't think Jesse's going to be able to keep the pressure on Nicholas enough to get him kind of close enough to get engaged with the striking. I don't get me wrong. I think Jesse will land a few shots. Nicholas Dalby puts himself in that range sometimes to get hurt, but I just think Nicholas Dalby should be able to get this fight over with the striking. Maybe a decision because Jesse is tough, but I just think, Dalby should get this win here, decision win. He's got good timing, good speed, good footwork. He should keep the feet standing, and he should take the victory on decision here. Next up, we have in the main event for the prelims, one of the, I don't know what you want to call him, like a relic. I don't know. I think the Pharaohs once, adored this guy as a god. Francisco Trinaldo still going. I think he's 41, 42 now or something. Taking on a young, fresh Jai Herbert who's making a UFC debut after winning the lightweight title at Cage Warriors. I'm going to check Trinaldo's age because it's going to bug me now. I don't know, folks, if you know off the top of your head, but I'm thinking 41, is he? He's got to be about 41 or something, I think. There you go. He is 41 years old. There you go. So Francisco Trinaldo taking on a Jai Herbert. Now, again, Jai Herbert is from Cage Warriors. If you don't know who Jai Herbert is, I would suggest quickly jumping on to Cage Warriors and just watching a couple of his fights. Man, that kid he's just come into Cage Warriors' little bubble and blew it out of the water. He looks superb. On the ground, he's fantastic at getting up on his feet. That's one thing I take away from this. Now, he's good at getting off the guys off him and getting back to the ground. Jack Grant had a real tough time keeping him on the ground and staying on top of him. He had a couple of moments, Jack Grant, where he did get him down and was on top of him for a bit. Didn't really get much on him. Wasn't able to apply much damage because Jai Herbert was able to stop it, negate it, or Jai was able to kind of cause an escape attempt, which disrupted Jack's attacks. But when it was on the feet, early on in that fight, Jai Herbert found the range really quick and was able to land quick. He's really good with his timing on his range and landing hard. Trinaldo, this is the thing. Jai Herbert's got great conditioning. And Trinaldo doesn't have great conditioning. But the thing with Trinaldo is he's very smart. He knows he's not conditioned for three rounds. He's not conditioned to go hard for 3 rounds. He's very patient. He'll pick his shots. He'll take his time. He'll be quite heavy-footed. If I'm Trinaldo, I've got to try and get this kid to the ground and get on top of him. I'm finding it hard to pick on this one because I think does experience and knowledge like Francisco Trinaldo come and play a part in this factor? Does the fact that he's an older man, he knows the game, he's been around, he's fought top level guys, and to be honest with you, he doesn't lose to bums. He lost to Alexander Hernandez, James Vick, Kevin Lee, Michael Chiesa. He doesn't lose that many guys over the years. He's consistent. He is consistently solid. But Jai Herbert's just this quick kid, popping his hands. It's the pop in his hands that catch me out because I think if Trinaldo gets him down, Jai's great at getting up. He's got the likes of Tom Breeze around him, Fabian Edwards, Leon Edwards. He's got all those absolute savages around him. His confidence is untouchable at the moment. I'm going to go with Jai Herbert as well. I think he can land the punches early, and it can really affect Trinaldo with his pacing of the game. Liam going Jai as well. Yeah. I think Trinaldo has to try and get a submission, like get the fight to the ground, try and submit Jai Herbert. Now, I'm not saying he can't do that. Trinaldo could absolutely overwhelm him. You never know. We don't know how the nerves are going to even affect Jai Herbert. He might get affected by the nerves. The moment might catch him out, and he just might be a little bit out of the game for the first round, and then Trinaldo strikes while the iron's hot and gets the win. But I'm going to go with Jai Herbert. I think he can either stop Trinaldo or get a decision, but I think he might actually stop Trinaldo because I think when he starts landing that right, he's got great timing with it. Such good timing. I just hope he's learned to break away quicker with some fights, like since the Jack Grant fight and stuff like that. Hopefully he's learned to break quicker so we can start to attack. But I'm going to go with Jai Herbert. I think he can actually do it in this one. Another late replacement on this one. It's a late replacement. I'll rephrase that. Another late addition to this card, which made this card a 15 fight card, and the main card is so bloody long, it's ridiculous. But so just coming off his debut against John Phillips and getting the victory there at middleweight, dropping down to his natural weight that he wants to fight at, is Khamzat Chimaev against Rhys Mckee. Again, another Cage Warriors competitor, another one who's earned his stripes now. If you look, Rhys Mckee only recently came back up to, recently went to middleweight. He was actually welterweight. He was actually a lightweight down back at Cage Warriors for the longest time. It was one of those ones where it was the right weight class for him at the time, but Rhys just grew into that body. Kind of like if you watch a guy called Patrick Pimblett, who fights in Cage Warriors. He was, again, a 45er, had to go to 55 because he just grew out of his body. You know, it's just age. You're coming with age. Sometimes that happens. You put the muscle on, you kind of get the muscle density, and then it all kind of comes, like, you just can't make that weight anymore. And that's all that simply happened here. Rhys just kind of stopped doing it, and so he only had the one fight against Hack and Foss. Not talking about only had the one fight, he got the win against Hack and Foss, and he looked great in that fight. I think everyone's going with Chimaev on this one. Yeah, you know, after that performance, the thing is, well, like myself and Will, and there's a lot of there'll be a lot of other people out there who knew about Chim as well, outside of the UFC bracket of as a potential to be signed up. We didn't expect him to get signed up so quick. I thought maybe in about 2-3 fights time he might have been probably signed up in 2021, but they've got him up now. Now Rhys McKee's got a hard fight, because what Rhys needs to do here is keep a fight standing. Rhys on the feet, it's where he's so much better on the feet with his hands and his kicks. He's superb when he's standing there, but I'm a bit worried that he's not going to be able to stop the wrestling of Chimaev, and this is where it'll be a bit of a tough one for Rhys if he can get him and keep him off. It's because Chimaev's got such good, strong grappling, and as we saw, as John Phillips saw, he has a strong top game. Now, I'm going with Chimaev as well. I've interviewed Rhys Mckee in the past. I think he's a top lad. I think he's a great egg. I just think the wrestling here is where the fight will differ. If Rhys was fighting a striker, like I think Alex Oliveira, who's actually fighting the fight above, probably a far more suitable fight for him with striker-wise, or like a Mike Perry strike-wise. But look, Rhys McKee's going to come into this welterweight division. He's going to do solid. He's going to do very well. He's a kid that's always growing and evolving. And he's also coming far more into that welterweight shape and figure. So look, I think Rhys has a chance if he can get if the fight goes to the ground, if he can get like a triangle choke, if he has to get but if Chimaev can get past that guard on the takedown, Rhys is going to have a really hard time getting him off, because you can see he's just got such heavy top game. So I'm going to go like a hard-fought decision win for Rhys, but we'll see what happens with it. Next up, we have in the welterweight division, like I said before, Alex Oliveira is fighting Peter Sabota. Oh, I like Peter so much. I think he's such a talented fighter. I just wish he would fight a lot more than he does. Again, he's another fighter who just doesn't fight enough, and it does my absolute bouncing. He's got such a good skill set, strike-wise, and obviously with the submission game. So he's fighting Alex Oliveira, who's just, well, I think Alex Oliveira has started, I think over the years he's turned into one of my more enjoyable fighters to watch, because you know with Alex Oliveira, he's going to bring a good fight, he's entertaining, he'll strike, he will go toe-to-toe, and he will get wobbled, he will go forward, but then again with the other thought of it, he's actually not got a bad skill set, and he's not got a bad fight IQ, Alex Oliveira. That is it. It's like, for example, he last fought in March 2018, Peter Sabota. Then before that was 2017, then 2016, 2015. You know, it just keeps knocking on. Like, if you look over it, 2012, he fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Beautiful. That's what you want to see. And then all of a sudden, he signed to the UFC and went, I'll do it once a year. That'll do me. Yeah, that'll keep me going. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But when I look at this fight, I do actually think if Peter Sabota's fit if he's got conditioning in him, I'm actually picking him on this one because on the grappling aspect, I think he could absolutely cause absolute nightmare for Alex Oliveira. On the feet, I think he's super talented there too. I just think if Peter Sabata can get the fight to the ground, Alex Oliveira is going to have an absolute fit. I'm actually going to sway. Do you know what? I know with the lack of activity there for Peter Sabata, but I want to go and pick him because he's such a clean fighter as well. As in, he's so clinical with his kind of not just his striking, but just his skill set as a whole. He's very clean. Like I don't have any qualms. I cannot see a moment where Peter Sabata does not get his back. I can see him getting the back here. I see him getting the takedown. I'm going to go with Peter Sabata here. Obviously, the biggest thing is that just lack of bloody fighting. It does my head in. I wish he fought 2-3 times a year. He would be well in. I think he'd be in the top 15. I think if he was consistent enough, he could easily be in the top 15 with the skill set he's got. I think the lack of consistency is the biggest fall for Peter Sabata. So I'm going to go with Peter here. I still think because I think Alex Oliveira is one of them ones that he'll always fight for your money. He'll always bring an entertaining fight. But there's always sometimes it just doesn't perform well. And I think Sabata's got a great opportunity here. Quick refill. Thank you very much, Monster. Okay, next up, we're going to go win the light heavyweight division. Paul Craig is fighting. Oh, yeah. I've got to say Gadzhi's name. Okay. Gadzhi Murad Antigulov. That is about as best he's going to get out of me, folks. So take it or leave it. Got to be honest, I think Antigulov has been a flop in the UFC for me. He'll charge at you, try to take you down. If you can't get you down, you get smashed. Again, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to put your picks, your thoughts and concerns, what you're thinking about the fight card and who you think is going to win, etc. Feel free to comment in the comments section there below. We've got our boy Liam chiming in, but feel free to comment as well, folks. But yeah, Kutilaba couldn't get a takedown, got absolutely smashed. When he fought Jochen Christensen, he was not even UFC worthy. Easy win, got him on the mark, got him on the UFC ladder, but Olenukchuk absolutely destroyed him. Man, I think he's going to try and take Paul Craig down. Shock. Hey, just my 2 cents. Hey, bro. Look, dude, you always write great little breakdowns and picks. Love your stuff, man. Thank you for chiming in each time. If you haven't heard, mate, it's just Will's not well. He's obviously commented above on the comments. He's just not well all week. This is a last minute kind of live stream to get the fights out there. Craig is good everywhere in this fight. Yeah, I'm actually going Paul Craig in this fight. Me and Will have kind of faded on Paul Craig on some fights, but Antigulov here is going to go for the takedown. Paul's going to be probably on his back, if I'm honest with you, but he won't mind because he'll keep it in guard. He'll go for the triangle and arm bars, and he probably will get it. I just don't know where Antigulov's going to win. Paul's chin is a little worry. That is something we've got to consider. But Antigulov will come in swinging, grapple, get it down, and I think Paul might even reverse it or even get back and get on top of himself or get his back with some kind of switch. Gets Paul back in the wing column. I know we had a draw, so to speak, against Shogun, but I think it's a suitable win for Paul Craig. There's not much more to add on to that, really. I just submission. I'll probably go submission because I don't think there's a lot of cardio. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of cardio on Antigulov as well. So, yeah, I'm probably go with Paul Craig. Probably get like even a second round, third round submission because I think Antigulov just might tire, and I just don't even think he's that good. I think it's a waste of a space in the light heavyweight division. Just get rid of him, get someone else in. There's guys outside of UFC that you can bring in that'll bring more entertainment to us all. But anyway, we'll go up to now I'm riding with the bear. Yeah, you have to, you know what I mean? Like I say, I haven't seen Paul for a bit, but I'm sure when I'm back up in Scotland again, I'll have a catch up with Paul. We've got women's strawweight next, folks. It's Carla Esparza against Mariana Rodriguez. Carla's been improving. I won't deny. Like I did kind of write Carla off for a bit because I just thought she wasn't the same girl after getting murdered by Joanna Jacek. She got absolutely torn apart. Like, you could see it affected her. You could see how it had. And over the years, she has kind of came back again. She's got a bit more confidence. Her striking certainly picked up. But if I'm Carla Esparza, if she tries to strike with Marina, it's going to be the dumbest decision. If I'm her corner, I'm just having to wrestle. Like, she got the win against Michelle Watson, which was a tight decision, tight split decision. It wasn't even it was not actually an interesting fight. The Michelle Watson Esparza fight. It was, I could easily miss that one. Yeah, she has. Yeah, I think she might have got a bit of confidence. Well, one of the reasons, well, you got to remember, the thing with Carla Esparza, you're right, Liam, about the whole, she has completed striking, why she go for takedowns, because people know that's what Carla's bread and butter is. So if you're labeled as a grappler, takedown artist, they're gonna prep for that, and it kind of actually works in a favor, because a lot of the fighters, if you're a wrestler and they think that's you're going for the takedown, you'll tend to sometimes have your hands a little bit lower than you would do naturally for a striker, just to prepare for that takedown, shooting to break that takedown. Now, the issue she's got is she's fighting a girl in Marina Rodriguez who is just a nasty girl. Woo! In the clinch as well. So if Carla's going for the takedown and Marina can stop the takedowns and she can start to maybe get some strikes off, it's going to be a rough ride. It's all about the takedowns. Like, she just has to stop the takedowns from Carla Esparza, and she will light this girl up like a Christmas tree. I'm kind of swaying towards Marina Rodriguez. I think she's a wicked little talent. I think she's got lovely combinations, lovely striking, and I think she's in a really, really good spot in this. I think Carla Esparza will, like you say, Liam, she's fallen in love a little bit of her striking, and it can come and bite her on the ass, and I think this is what will happen. So I'm going to go with Marina Rodriguez. I think she'll start to lay the strikes on it, start to piece her up, and I think she can really start to hurt her. I think is there a reach advantage on this one? I don't know what the reach is, but I think it's 67 for let's have a look here. She needs to, a good fight. It is tough pictures, yeah. Because if Carla does go for the wrestling aspect, it could be a tough fight for Marina, because she might have to defend the takedowns. But then again, we've seen that in the grappling aspects, Marina can stuff takedowns. If she can get the fight back, stuff the takedown, get the fight up, get to the clinching game, that's when she will turn things around. She's longer. She's got the reach with the kicks and the knees to the body. She could really maybe turn it into a negative for Carla. So if Carla goes for the takedowns early on, Marina, if she can really negate those takedowns, it can really dent confidence in Carla. Because I don't think on the striking, Carla's not going to have a good day in the office, because Marina should be able to pick her apart. But I'm going to pick up Marina. I'm going to pick Marina. I think I think the first round's going to be the key factor in this. It could sway towards Carla, but if Marina can stop the takedowns at some point, even if she doesn't have to stop them all, if she can at least stop one or two, that will really put a confidence boost into her. And obviously, as the rounds go on, you get a bit sweatier. The grip isn't as tight. It's a little bit harder to get takedowns. We know Carla's been there before. She's fought, hard opposition. She's worked her way up through the ranks, but I'm going to go here with Marina. I just think she's a wicked little talent, she is, and I think she's got a solid takedown defense. So I'm going to go with Marina on a decision win. Probably like a 2-1, like a 29-28, because I think Carla could maybe get the first round in the belt. That's my thoughts. Again, just give us your 2 cents, folks, if you're not sure. And again, hit like button if you're watching, and please feel subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is not the usual setup. Like I say, usually we do a pre-record and we edit this, stick it all together, me and my bro Will, but he's not well. I'm going to go to the last 3 fights on the card after I've quickly rehydrated with my monster. Delicious. Actually, I don't know if anyone's had this flavor, the green one. What's it called again? Ultra Paradise. It's so fucking good. I love it. Okay, we have Fabrizio Verdum against Alexander Gustafsson at heavyweight. So retirements do my head in. I'm getting sick of it. Tell you one person I'm sick of is Henry Cejudo. Shut up tweeting. Either you're retired or you're not. And if you're retired, shut up, stop it, just go away. But if you're not going to retire, like he's doing my absolute. I don't know about you folks, he's doing my absolute tits in. And a UFC bet experience. Hello, brother. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Look, it's doing my head in, Henry Cejudo. But anyway, let's not forget about that. Let's talk about this heavyweight matchup. Werdum, Gustafsson. Now, in an interview from a few years back, Gus and Werdum did sparring together. Gus said he absolutely whooped him. So we don't know what the ins and outs of that was. Because in my opinion, I think Werdum's striking, obviously over the years, has improved. But Gus is a legit boxer. Quick hands, and he's got speed. Gus will probably come into this fight, he's got to be coming about 235, we reckon. 235? Werdum is certainly on the latter stages of his career. It's a tough one because Werdum, he's got to get in. If 42 years old, he's got to get the distance closed. He's got to get the fight to the ground. Maybe I think that's where Gus's biggest weakness is obviously on the ground. And if I'm Werdum, I want to get the fight to the ground. Yeah, bets wise, bro. We're gonna jump on some bets after this, but yeah, I think that he's not doing too well for Werdum. You know, he's won a few fights a couple of years back, but then losing to Volkov, which is understandable. Olenek, fair enough. Olenek's one of those tough cookies to beat, but for Werdum, I think he's going to lose to Gus, folks. I do. I think Gus is going to do better at this. I think he's going to get the hands on him. I think he's really going to hurt him. Oh, here we go. Mr. G4 Astro, thank you very much. Going with Werdum here. Alex, for me, doesn't throw enough volume. This fight will take place on the ground, I believe. Here we go. Looked awful against Olenek. He did look bad there. Yeah, not really. Here we go. Mckee, what about Grundy? 2 cents. We were talking about Grundy. Me and Liam were talking about Grundy before. He might be something you might want to parlay someone with. But yeah, man, Werdum. It's if Werdum can get the fight to the ground, Astro, because obviously Gus, we don't know what he's going to look like at a heavyweight. We don't know what kind of strength, because obviously if he's had to cut down to light heavyweight in the past, he might feel a lot better. He might feel superbly stronger. He might perform a lot better because he's obviously worked out and been training to keep that going. So I am interested to see if Gus can keep the fight standing, and if he just has to keep Werdum on the end of his jab. If I'm Gus, I'm just going to jab away, pop out 1-2s, and that's it. Just box him. It's all a question of what is Gus doing and what is he doing returning. That's my question. Does he think he's going to Grundy is super live, but I'm high on every live? Yeah, I won't bet. Though, fair enough. Trust me, 2 cents. Grundy is an absolute beast, mate. But yeah, for me, Gus, I'm like, what? I don't think Gus ain't going to get a heavyweight title fight. He ain't going to go up for those ranks. There's too many other guys in there that are going to absolutely wreck him. Dalby, yeah, by decision, absolutely bang on with that one, pretty good, but very tough to find the value here. So yeah, I'm going to go with Gus. Like I said, I think it's a tough one for bits of Werdum, because it's just that it's again, like he's taller as well. Gus, he's bigger, longer range. I think Werdum's going to have a rough time getting a fight to the ground on him. But if he does get it to the ground, obviously Gus then is in a world of trouble, because as we've seen, that's a big no for Gus on the ground. But I'm going to go with Gus. I think get decision win. Just pick away at Werdum. I think he'll be quicker and faster. Pop a move. Yeah, that's all I think, man. Here we go. So co-main event. Finally, the trilogy everyone has asked for. You know, everyone's been begging for this trilogy. Anyway, it's happening. Yeah, Gus by decision, got some value on it, has it? I haven't seen those odds. I think Gus by decision, because if you're Gus, he's going to play it smart, avoid getting hit by a heavyweight, stick and move. He's going to have the speed and footwork. So decision is not a bad one, because Werdum's one of those ones you could outpoint. Nice. Okay, I'm liking that already. So look, Shogun has already beat Nogueira in the past. He's 2-0 up. It's a weird one. I think Little Nog obviously wanted one more fight before he retired. He probably said, I want to get Shogun one more time. And he's just going to go, yeah. and he's just going to go all out. He's obviously the last fight. He just wants that one chance to beat Shogun, who's beat him in the past. And but I just don't, man, styles make matchups. And sometimes a guy just has your number. His style just sometimes has your number no matter what you are. And I think this is one of them ones. I think Shogun here, we've got to question Shogun's a little bit chinny. And I think we've missed out on the best Shogun, because I think Shogun should have been middleweight years ago. I think he would have been absolutely tremendous at middleweight. But I think Shogun here, it's going to be the same, similar fights. Again, I just don't know where Little Nog, unless he just goes all out and just tries to swing for the hills. And if he gets knocked out, he gets knocked out or gets stopped. But I don't know what you guys think. I just don't see where he loses. I don't see where Shogun's going to lose this fight. I think he'll be able to pick him off the shots and leg kicks, and just, well, yeah, I just don't get it either. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't get it. Do not understand this, but here we go, Shogun for me as well. Yeah, I don't get it, bro. It's a weird one, but at the same time, I think Little Nog, he's done a lot in the sport. He's been around for what feels like too long, but a bit long on the tooth, let's say. He's getting his dues. He's leaving the fight game. I think I don't know if any one of you guys have heard it. GSP was saying, I'm 40 years old. I don't want to go back in a fight camp about fighting newsmen. I just don't want to do it anymore. Some guys stay in too long. I think Little Nog's a perfect example of that, and potentially Shogun as well, because I don't see what he's going to do. But yeah, that's that fight there picked. Little Nog all day is going to get another O on his record, and it's going to be 3-0 hat-trick to Shogun. So good luck, Shogun, on that, because he is a fantastic little legend, isn't he? Now we're going to go to the main card. Whittaker Till, and I think this is going to draw a little bit of a good, healthy debate here. I think we're all going to pick different here on this one. So I want to know who you're all picking for Robert Whittaker, Darren Till. Before I give my pick on this, obviously, feel free to put your picks down in the comment section on who and why you think. You don't have to even put why, even just who you're picking. So we're going to go and jump onto this. Let's go to Robert Whittaker. Okay, Liam's going with Till. Nice. Robert Whittaker is a guy who, sadly, because oh, okay, Brendan Phillip picking Pessoa. We're going to win. Okay, well, bro, we picked Boza because I thought he's just too quick to move out the way of the strikes, taking Till but not confident. It is a great fight. Whittaker's just another one of those guys, like, sadly, because of injuries, it really hampered his momentum, his confidence. Joanne Lives picking Till 2 cents, taking Till. Yeah, it's a great fight. It is, bro. Yeah, here we go. It is a tough one because Whittaker, if he was not injured and had momentum, he would be doing a lot better than he is. But that stop-start with the injuries and everything that he has going on in life really does hinder fighters. We've talked about this before. Israel Adesanya, he was just on fire, that kid. And he's on a wave that he's just riding that wave and he's looking superb. He has volume yet and aggression yet. I think Whittaker will do better than what Masvidal did for Till. Okay. So I think this might be, guys, a similar match to the Wonderboy Till fight. Because if you look at the way they fight, they're similar. The counter strikes as well. They both kind of like sometimes like counter strike, and they like to play off the back foot a little bit. Darren Till isn't overly aggressive unless he feels like he's hurt you. Then he will be coming aggressive, coming forward to you. And Darren Till, you got to remember, when he got rocked and dropped by Woodley, it really changed the way his striking would change a little bit. He fought Masvidal. Now, if you look at the Masvidal fight, he dropped Masvidal at the start of that fight. So straight away, when he dropped him, his confidence went up through the roof. He went, cool. And he felt like, I've got him. I'm going to get aggressive. If he hadn't landed that shot, he probably wouldn't have been as aggressive as he was. And then, therefore, I'm not saying the knockout wasn't going to happen, but the striking exchanges would have been different. This is another fight where I think, if you look at the Gastelum fight, I thought Till looked good at middleweight. I thought this is another fight for Till where he is I've grappled with Till. And I've got to say, that dude he was way too big for welterweight. I remember I was I think we would just do some wrestling drills, and I was thinking, what is this well, how is he making welterweight? I cut down a welterweight twice, and it was the worst thing I ever did in my life. I felt like I was going to die. A big fan of Tillier, and I see ways for him to win. Then I pick him, but I won't be surprised Robert winning this one. UFC betting experience. Yeah, it is almost like a pick and fight because the stylistic matchup, I think you might see something similar where they're going to be very, edgy. They're going to be very calculated. They're going to be bounced off each other, reading each other's moves, reading the footwork. And that's going to be the big thing, the footwork. Who can change that range in time to get the shots and move? We've seen Whittaker do it time and time again. He's great with it, but he's fighting a guy who's also got decent footwork and good movement. Till's looking so much better at middleweight. He looks probably feels a lot more confident, and his chin will feel a lot better because he's not dropping all those fluids, and his chin's not going to be as nervous as what sounds like Rob in good spirits and got the hunger back. Should be a belt and scrap. Yeah, I think Robert obviously losing the title and the way and manner in which he lost it is something that will eat away at him a little bit. But Darren Till is, I think he's very good tactical fighter in a fight like this. Till distance management is underrated. Exactly, it is. People do not understand it, and people don't look at sometimes when there's nothing happening, they don't appreciate it because they think that there's nothing happening. But what that is actually range. You're controlling the ring, you're controlling the octagon, with range and movement, and it's a huge one. Here we go, Joanne Lives, here we go. Till is the future boys, Whittaker is a sweet past. Just my 2 cents, they both have power, absolutely, both hittable, 100%, because they both come straight lateral. When they attack, they're both lateral, so the counter strike is there. Whittaker, probably the better wrestler. I don't know, Till's a fucking badass wrestler, man. I had a double leg takedown on him. I had it pretty much at 99% of the way, and I don't know where the hell these hips came from, but they just crushed me. I was like, going, what the? I probably slacked off because I thought I had it, but that was my own fault. But Till, frames well in the clinch. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's the Muay Thai he's got. I can see. Yeah, I remember when I was grappling with Till, the clinch, even a single collar tie. Yeah, he was so good with the pressure with the single collar tie. It caught me right off guard. The UFC betting experience, totally agree, mate. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it is one of them ones. I'm kind of favouring towards Darren Till as well, folks, believe it or not, because I just think he's very good at I think he's very good with I think he's very good at picking the shots, but I also think he's very good at getting the points. Now, I'm not saying he's a point picker for fights. I'm not saying he sits there and he thinks, I'm going to just get the points and that's all I'm going for. But I think he's very good at getting that. Like I say, against Wonderboy Thompson, he was tactical. He was very timing. And do you know what it was? It frustrated Wonderboy. And that's where Wonderboy got caught. And I think he do the same again. In this fight, I think he can just be patient against Whittaker, wait for the opportunities to come to him rather than chase the opportunities. Just wait for them to present themselves, and they will, because Robert Whittaker will come at him with aggressive striking, and his chances for Till to land and move away. You got to remember the leg kicks for Till is something I would hopefully he uses on someone like Whittaker, which will really slow him down. Nice. That's awesome that you grappled with Till. Mate, it was great. Yeah, I went to Team Kaboon and trained Ace. So I went and trained. I've trained with a handful of guys actually, like Paul Felder, Elias Theodoro, and who else have I done with? Obviously, Grundy, Till. There's other guys. For some reason, I can't remember off the top of my head. My memory's going blank here with other guys. So I went around. I'm going to be going to other gyms in the UK and stuff in time. I'm going to be going down. COVID kind of messed up this year. So my plans for training this year have gone out the window. But I'll be going down to Wales and training with the boys down there. Marshman, Shaw, and Brett Johns. But if you've got their names there, that was bad. Sorry, boys. I've got your names for a moment there. But yeah, I'll be going down there to train with them guys. That's probably my next destination because the facility looks incredible. And there's some great young talent there as well. So I want to get my hands on them guys and get to talk to them. But yeah, I'm going to go with Till as well. I think he can actually get a decision win. I think Till can just be smart. Sure, MMA, man. Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility, man. And Shakey's done a great job. And he's a great guy, Shaky. I've spoken to him for so a long time. I remember chatting to Jack before he made his pro debut and stuff, and a lot of hype then. But yeah, I'm going to go and put my neck on the line and go Darren Till decision, because I think the pair of them would be a bit standoffish, because I think what Whittaker's got to be careful. He's been cracked with the chin. He's going to be a little bit tentative with the exchanges every now and then, especially at the start after being stopped. It's something that does play in your mind. We're going to go over to the bet side. Now, Will is obviously the bet guy. Will does do bets. I do bets now and then. If I feel like the odds are good and they're solid, like I'll be honest, I think the Grundy odds were phenomenal. Like you say, Liam got plus 200. I think Grundy's a cracking little one to go for. He will fight for your money. Superb wrestler as well, and he's got the striking to come with it. So I think if you don't go with Grundy, maybe as a stab, I think you're missing out there. But I'm looking at the card. Let's have a look at quick odds. Yeah, Till Whittaker, expect that to be a pick'em. Gus, heavy favourite against Verdun. Maybe stoppage for Gus might be one to look at. I don't know if I'll put a pick'em. Let's have a look here. Little Nog and Shogun. What a surprise! Shogun is the favourite there. So you could pair Shogun and Gus together. You might get good plus odds there. Rodriguez, solid favourite there. When the hell's Bellator? Oh, Bellator's back as well, isn't it? Do you know what? I forgot about that. I forgot all about this one. Yeah, Nathaniel Wood, far heavy favourite here. We've got UK on the island. UK on the island. All they're pretty good except the ones that shit the bed like fish balls, yeah. Got Grundy plus 200, like I said earlier. I think Jai's around plus 120. Could be worth stop. Yeah, Jai. Can I get the odds for Jai on here? Where are they here? So let's see. So yeah, Jai Herbert. Yeah, he is. Yeah, because Trinaldo's naturally a favourite, which is expected. I'm not a huge bet myself, but I'll get some action every now and then. Yeah, I'm the same 2 cents. I if I see something that sticks out like the Grundy one, I think that's sticking out. Jai Herbert as well is, I think, another one. Rhys Mckee, oh my good googly moogly. He is in the stratosphere of those odds, isn't he? Hey, Sabota as well. So there is some odds out there, folks, that I think are probably worth going out and looking at, to be honest with this fight card. Sabota, he is a solid little fighter. He will got a skill set that will cause Oliveira problems. Let's just do odds. Because I have sadly got this bloody conversion, which is the 2.2 rather than the plus. I don't have the plus 200s on there, but I'm going to quickly do that here. So, what is the botter? Here we are. I'm going to go with. There we go. So, Peter Sabota at the moment, I can see him as 2.5. Now, I don't lie. I don't know my odds on that one. 2.5 is. There we go. So, yeah, not bad at all, actually. Yeah, Sabota's worth going for. He's plus 140. So, Sergio Pettis tomorrow. Yeah, Sergio Pettis against, what's his name again, that kid? How about that? I've got maybe like a sieve right now. I even saw, cut me off that the Bellator coming back and he just came out of nowhere, but happy days. Yeah, Peter Sabota's another one. Yeah, plus 140. That's a good odds there, folks. Who else you got here? Paul Craig. Paul Craig submission. Betting experience, you think Pico got it done. Pico's one of them ones I think they're going to have to be careful with. He's a young, Vicky Banz. Yeah, you go. I want to say Banjoza, but I'm probably saying his name wrong here, aren't I? Banjaz, is it pronounced Banjaz? Ricky Banjaz? I'm terrible, is it? Banjaz? Bandy Jazz? Yeah, we'll go with Bandy Jazz. Yeah. Yeah, it was Sergio Pettis. Yeah, you could even parlay some of the Bellator fights. But yeah, I think Aaron Pico, man, I just wish they would just be careful with him, nurture him a little bit more. Like, I don't mind guys getting nurtured if they're early in their MMA career and they get signed to like a big promotion like this one. Because like Bellator or even UFC, when they sign guys a bit early, I just wish they'd take a little bit longer with them. Don't rush them in their fights and don't ruin them. Because, like, for example, when he got stopped by Henry Corrales and then Adam, he got 2 stoppages. I know he got beat Daniel Craig, but just don't stop the kid too soon, lads. Like, that was all in the same year. So just let the kid, bring himself up a little bit. Take your time. Get the right fights for him. Stars make matchups. Don't need to rush him. They didn't rush. What's his name? Irish lad Gallagher. They didn't rush him. So why bother rushing Aaron Pico? I think he's a good one to go for. Odds wise, I think that's pretty. I don't really see anything else standing up on the odds. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Tom Aspinall, stoppage, KO, that might be one worth looking at, folks. Yeah, Grundy's got some superb odds there. Definitely think that's one. And next week, there'll be some good spots. If you haven't looked at our fight card already, there'll be some good spots there. Do you guys do Bellator predictions too? Mate, I don't do Bellator predictions. I won't lie. Only reason being is with MMA training a couple times a week, and then I've got to try and do the tape study for MMA for the UFC cards. And if I do the interviews, it's just time, bro. It's so hard to get everything in. Nice one for the breakdown, John. Stay safe, mate. Good luck for any bets you make. You too, Liam. Have a great one. Have a great weekend. We'll back next week. Hope to see you then. I like Aspinall to get it done. Yeah, just to my sense, yeah, definitely. Aaron Pico and Jackson for Bellator. Yes. I saw that Jackson was fighting that card. He's an excellent fighter. Thanks for the interviews with the Welsh lads. Yeah, they helped me make my mind up with the bets. Yo, bro, happy. If I can get more guys on with the interviews, I will. It's just this laptop, like I said, do my bonds in, and it just doesn't work all the time. Honestly, I feel like putting a rear naked choke on the son of a bitch. But look, if I could do Bellator picks, I would 100% do it. I do love the talent over there. I'll do Cage Warriors ones if I had time. It's just time, guys. It's absolute pain in the arse. But guys, look, hey, I love my beard, bro. I love my beard. Look at the size of that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. It's just a Viking jeans, my friend. I can't help it. It's just a nightmare. And yeah, I can't help it. It's just, I give up. Razor blades just don't do it. Guys, I'll try and keep hanging out interviews as much as I can. And I've got so many. I'll get guys on regional scenes as well. I'll probably make it to the UFC someday as well. There's some great talent out there. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thanks so much. Sorry for the podcast being a bit late going out. Like I said, Will was ill. We just left it to the last minute. And I thought I'll get something out for you guys at least tonight or something on there. Feel free to, like I say, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And look, me and Will be back together next week to break down the Brunson versus Shabazian card, all right? So take care of all yourselves. Enjoy the fights this weekend. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me and Will for every one of you that come along. So thank you and take care.